let's have a lesson on this piece, follow the lesson for free and pick up some of the tips. But if you're interested, I also have a free sheet music edition of this work, and there's a link for that in the description. There's no sign up or anything, you just go download the PDF. This piece is part of a collection of works I'm putting together as a free supplement to my Volume 1 and Volume 2 method books. This particular piece I would probably play after my Volume 1 method book and somewhere during my Volume 2 method book. Pretty much any time, but definitely after Volume 1. In terms of the difficulty of the piece, this piece is very straightforward and there's no complications. There's one little thing about right hand fingering to discuss, and then there's 3 notes at the end that beginners generally don't know so much. So, but we're going to break the rules a little bit and live on the wild side and just play the piece anyway. Because the 3 notes come at the very end of the piece and during a rallentando, so a slowing down of the pulse, we can just learn those by rote and you can practice them. So this piece is a really great little, it's a piece, but it's also a great little etude for students because it involves alternating fingers, like in the first measure, with that little melodic passage there, and then a straight up arpeggio after that. So we get practice alternating, and then we get practice with an arpeggio right next to each other, and it kind of does that throughout the piece, with also some other melodic sections as well. So very nice kind of little piece that covers all of the basic beginner playing that we do. There were lots of female players and composers in this time period in the 19th century, but not so much material that they wrote at this level, at this kind of like beginner stage. So it's really nice to have this piece. This is number 2, so I've also put out number 1, and you can pair those 2 pieces together if you like. So I think there's not too much to discuss, so I think we can just do a walkthrough of the piece and discuss the aspects of the playing as we go. So like I said, this piece takes a chord shape like A minor it starts with, and then it starts with some melodic material. So we just get a thumb and then alternating IM fingering. And then we get an arpeggio, so we're going to leave our fingers down and let those notes all ring out. And then the chord changes. And then, so we have that melodic passage, and then the arpeggio, same thing, melodic passage, arpeggio. Now here, because we're in measure 6 at the very end, we end with the I finger. We're going to play the next note with M and P, then A. So we're doing this to avoid repeating the I finger. And it would also be quite awkward to leap the index finger up to the first string there. So we're going to use M, A. So that's the fingering you want to be careful of. And then from there on, though, we'll just do M, I, M, I, M, I, M, I, M, I. So just alternating I and M all the way down, even on the 5th string there. And then the repeat that I've put there, I added that repeat. It's not in the original. I added it just to add some length to the piece. But when you go back, you start with the thumb again. Or when you go on to measure 9, you start with the thumb. The rall is rallentando, so it's kind of a broadening of the music and a broadening of the tempo. So it's similar to a rit. So you're just going to kind of let it slow down a little bit and broaden, and then start again. And then you start again. You can let these grow a little bit as you go through them. Measure 9 is the same as the beginning. Measure 13, it changes a little bit. We have the the E in the bass. Do a little bit of a rel, and then here, P, I, M, A. So you want to break it into little technique sections. So it starts with an arpeggio, then shift, A, C. Keep your fourth finger on the string as a guide, up to A on the 17th fret. So when you practice this, you can practice it in those chunks. So this, shift to fifth position, play the A, play the C, and then keep your finger down as a guide. You can keep your thumb on the back of the neck, or if you let go to do some vibrato, feel free to do so. You'll get very used to exactly where that fret is. It's because it's the very last note, you can really take your time. And place it. So, when we think of the upper position playing here, it's the same as first position, except that the 12th fret is the same as the open strings. The first fret is the same as the 13th fret, right? So this is E, F, this is E, F. So E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So from the 12th fret, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. You don't necessarily need to do this here. For this one, you can do it all by ear. Get that note. So yeah, we haven't learned those notes yet, but we can live on the wild side. On the sheet music, I've written at the bottom where those notes are located, but you can generally do it by ear. So great little piece, contrasting, some different things in terms of alternating fingers and arpeggios. There's also some melodic passages, a couple new notes to learn. So a really welcome little piece for the late beginners or mid to late beginner student.